As we move up past the brainstem, we move past the midbrain, and then we move into the diencephalon. And the diencephalon contains several important key brain areas. Two of the tops are the thalamus and the hypothalamus. The hypothalamus, just hypo to the thalamus. So here's the thalamus. It's about, looks like a football-shaped structure. You got one on each side of your brain. This is called the massa intermedia, which connects the two. And then underneath it is the hypothalamus. And underneath the hypothalamus, this is the stalk to the pituitary, and this is the pituitary gland. Okay. So, what do these guys do? Turns out the thalamus is just this great relay station. All information from the senses that goes to your brain has to cut through the thalamus. All except one, olfaction. Olfaction comes in, it goes straight up to the cortex, and you deal with it. People argue that that's probably the case because olfaction was probably the first sense to develop. It developed evolutionarily before the thalamus did. But everything else has to go through the thalamus. So the thalamus regulates what goes up to the cortex. Okay, we'll talk about that in, I believe, the next slide. The hypothalamus, I used to call the lust center, but I didn't want to be confused with just the lusts for sex or something like that. No, it's drive, emotion, ambition, motivation. So I have a slide that talks a little more detail about that, but the hypothalamus is critical to regulating many functions within the body. So that's the thalamus, great relay station, and the hypothalamus, the great regulation center of the diencephalon.